Hello friends, welcome back to EduTap. In this session, we are going to discuss the PYQs of management, specifically the questions asked in phase 2. If you recall, in the last session, we had discussed the questions of management asked in the phase 1, that too precisely within the paper 2. So friends, now let us proceed ahead. So before proceeding ahead, I would like to inform you about this comprehensive SEBI guidebook that has been unveiled by EduTap. So what is this book all about? So friends, this book has the definitive answer to all the queries that an SEBI grade A aspirant often comes up with. See, instead of switching from one website to other website to gather a lot of information regarding the institute, the examination pattern, eligibility cutoff, so all the information that you need for to know in large detail regarding the SEBI has been compiled at a single place and brought to you. So friends, the good thing about this book is it comes at it saves your time and effort. This book is free of cost. And the third important question is, where is this book available? Friends, the link for this book is available in the description box below. You can download it. So now let us move ahead and look at the first question that has been asked in the phase 2 of the examination. So let me read out the question. Events like anger, frustration, humor, etc. can blur the decision making capacities of a person and thus limit the effectiveness of their communication. These events act as which of the following type of barrier to effective communication? Option A is psychological barrier, option B is emotional barrier, option C is physical barrier, option D is perception barrier, option E is none of the above, friends. So I want you to pause this particular video at this point of time and try to think on your own what could be the possible answer to this question, so that you can cross check the answer and also get a real time feel of the examination. So friends, the right answer here is option B. See, if you look at the keywords anger, frustration, humor, these all are the emotions, and you also might have experienced that if you are in a state of anger, you are unable to think clearly and you will be never able to communicate or even take the right decisions. So it is just one example, hence the answer is option B. Emotional barriers. The emotional quotient of a person determines the ease and the comfort with which they can communicate. Person who is emotionally mature will be able to communicate effectively. On the other hand, people who let their emotions take over will face certain difficulties. A perfect mixture of emotions and fact is necessary for effective communication. So friends, let me just give you another interesting piece of information. Last year or few years ago, there was an interesting news article that was published in the Hindu, where it mentioned that in the age of artificial intelligence, people or the employees with emotional intelligence will be a great asset to the organization. So it is very essential that you harness the emotional intelligence to its maximum potential. Now let us move ahead with the second question. Which of the following is true for organization morale but not for motivation? Morale deals with the work environment and is primary factor driving the organization. Morale acquires primary concern in every organization. Morale is an internal psychological drive of an individual which urges him to behave in a specific manner. High morale leads to high motivation of the employees. So friends, if you have read this particular chapter of motivation, you would be able to answer this question. The right answer here is option A. Let me tell you why the answer is option A. See, it is not the morale which acquires primary concern, it is the motivation which acquires primary concern, and the definition that is given here, internal psychological drive of an individual. This is the definition of motivation, friends. Definition of motivation. And it is high motivation leads to high morale, it is not the other way. Let me discuss in detail. See, while motivation is an internal psychological drive of an individual which urges him to behave in a specific manner. Suppose if you are preparing for a certain exam, or you are caught up with certain, you are motivated for a certain task, then it is your internally driven drive that is pushing you to attain or put in the hard yard for that particular accomplishing that particular task. So similarly friends, it is the motivation, you must remember, and it is the higher motivation which often leads to higher morale of the employees, but high morale does not essentially result in greatly motivated employees. Remember, this is a key relationship, because if you think logically, if the all the individuals are motivated, then automatically the morale will improve. It is not the other way. If the morale is high, doesn't mean all the employees are motivated. There might be few, and you cannot come up with the conclusive fact that the morale is high just on a certain vague idea. So while motivation is an individual concept, morale is a group concept. Another very key important difference between the motivation and morale. Motivation takes into consideration the individual differences among the employees, and morale of the employees can be increased by taking those factors into consideration which influence group scenario or total work setting. Motivation acquires the primary concern in every organization, while morale is a secondary phenomenon because high motivation essentially leads to higher productivity, while high morale may not lead to higher productivity. Things tied to morale are usually things that are just part of the work environment, and things tied to motivation are part of the performance of the individual. So friends, I hope this question gives you a imparts you a lot of clarity regarding the morale and the motivation. Now let us proceed ahead and try to look at the third question. Identify the HRD subsystem wherein employee performance is increased with increase in his ability and knowledge. The options are training and development, career planning, performance appraisal, organizational development, and option E is none of the above. So friends, if you recall the chapter of HRD, I think this is a pretty easy question. The answer is option A, training and development. See, training is an attempt to improve the current or the future employee performance by increasing an employee's ability to perform through learning, usually by changing the employee's attitude or increasing his or her knowledge. The need for training is determined by the deficiency of employees' performance. Suppose, try to think of a scenario in an organization where if an employee is not able to perform certain tasks better in a good, decent manner, then the organization will think that what is the fault with this particular employee. Then they will come out with a training program for that particular individual and try to fix the errors committed by that particular employee. Training process includes acquiring skills, concept and attitudes for increasing effectiveness in doing a specific job or jobs. Training provides the necessary impetus to implement change, improve efficiency, manage effectiveness and increase productivity. So this was with regard to third question. Now let us move on to the fourth question, friends. Identify the leadership style where a leader has an inspirational and charismatic approach. Options are transactional leadership, transformational leadership, authoritarian leadership. Option D is delegative leadership. Option E is none of the above. If you are aware with these particular terms, that is transactional, authoritarian, delegative, then you can easily come up with the answer that option B is the answer. In transformational leadership style, the leader inspires his or her followers with a vision and then encourages and empowers them to achieve it. The leader also serves as a role model. You know, there are 4 I's associated with transformational leadership, that is individual consideration, inspirational motivation, intelligence, and I want to tell you the other. I want you to tell the other I. Do read about these 4 I's which are related to transformational leadership, and if you recall the other I, type it down in the comment section below. So identify the role of the manager where the manager solves the problems, provides feedback, duly recognizes his employees, provides training and development and monitors the work. So friends, look at the options very carefully. Performance management is a term which gives a complete sense. Developmental, there is no particular meaning that can be drawn from this particular developmental, where because here the manager is doing multiple roles at a time. That is, he is solving the problem, providing the feedback, recognizing his employees, and provides training and development. See, the development talks just about this aspect, whereas all these aspects are not talked about in developmental. Providing perspective, again not an right option. Change agent, so within the option, if you try to arrive at the answer through elimination method, then option A would be the answer, which is rightly so. So performance management is a corporate management tool that helps manager monitor and evaluate employees' work. Performance management goal is to create an environment where people can perform to the best of their abilities and produce the highest quality work. So friends, this is nothing but just through this question you would be better able to correlate what exactly is performance management. Now coming to the last question of the day, friends, which of the following is an incentive and not a reward? So go through the option. Given to stimulate greater production, recognition for past performance, forward looking, providing cash for something done in the past. These two are talking about past, and the question is which of the following is an incentive and not a reward? See, reward is for something that has been done in the past, and forward looking incentive is given a push so that one can do better in the future. So option C is the answer, friends. Here let us look at few of the differences between reward and incentive. Reward can be understood as a prize given to someone as a recognize employee's hard work or achievement. Incentive is anything which motivates or encourages an employee to achieve something. This is forward looking, friends. Forward looking, this is retrospective. This is not predetermined, this is predetermined. And objective is to appreciate and recognize the people for their work done. This is to motivate employees to achieve something. So friends, you can just go through the remaining important differences. So friends, these were the questions that were asked in the phase 2 of the SEBI grade A examination. That's all we have in this particular session. Thank you.